Harer Nama, Harer Nama eva kevalam, Kalo nasteva, 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 gatiranyata.
पे फाइनेंस मैनेजर की तरह काम किया। अब रिटायर होके प्रभु जी पूरी तरह से उडुपी में सेवा कर रहे हैं। वहाँ पे भक्तों का जो है सेवा कर रहे हैं, प्रचार कर रहे हैं। तो प्रभु जी भक्ति शास्त्री हैं, भक्ति वैभव हैं और बहुत अच्छा जो है भक्त हैं। तो आज का जो श्लोक है हम प्रभु जी के माध्यम से समझने का प्रयास करते हैं हम लोग। तो ओवर टू यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सबके लिए वेलकम है, एवरीबॉडी सुस्वागत। एंड प्रभु जी आप मेरे बहुत ज़्यादा बहुत बता दिया एक्चुअली। मैं इतना भक्त नहीं है, भक्त करने के लिए कोशिश कर रहा हूँ एक्चुअली। एंड लेट अस स्टार्ट विद टुडे श्रीमद् भागवतम। इट्स वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक। इट्स ए टॉपिक बेस्ड ऑन द कपिल शिष्य। इट्स ए देवती एंड कपिल देव संवाद। बहुत अच्छा टॉपिक है एक्चुअली। इट्स वेरी नाइस टॉपिक टू डिस्कस अबाउट ऑल दिस थिंग्स। एंड क्षमा कीजिए मेरा क्लास हिंदी में होगा, सॉरी इंग्लिश में होगा, क्योंकि मेरा हिंदी इतना अच्छा नहीं है। क्योंकि बात करने के टाइम में ना बहुत बहुत शब्द नहीं मिलेगा, इसके लिए मैं इंग्लिश में करूँगा। थोड़ा क्षमा कीजिए इसके लिए। मैं क्लास स्टार्ट करने पहले स्टार्ट मंगलाचरण करेंगे, बाद में ये स्टार्ट द क्लास। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामयं ददान्ति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च। श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सगणललिता श्री विशाखावितांश। हे ओम नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरे तमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्ण भक्तरूपा स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तिशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओम इष्टपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। रामचिंतामणि कृष्ण चैतन्य रस विग्रह पूर्णशुद्धो नित्यमुक्तो अभिन्नाता नाम नामिनो। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतादसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरवो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवती नैष्टिकी। सर्वशास्त्रादिपीयूषा सर्ववेदैकसत्फला सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाढ्या सर्वलोकैकनृत्पदां सर्वभागवता प्राणां श्रीमद्भागवता प्रभो कलिदान्तोदित्यादित्या श्रीकृष्णा परिवर्तिता परमानन्दपाठाय प्रेमवर्षी अक्षराय ते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोऽस्तुते मदेकबन्धु मत्सङ्गिन् मद्गुरु मन्मनादना मन्निस्तारकमद्भाग्य मदानन्द नमोस्तुते असाधु साधुतादायिन् अति नीचोच्चताकराम् आनमुञ्च कदाचिन्मान् प्रेमारुत्कण्ठयोस्फुराम् सर्ववेदान्तसारम्ये श्रीमद्भागवतम् ईष्यते तदसामृततृप्तस्य नान्यत्रस्य धृति क्वचित् निम्नगानमिता गङ्गा देवानामच्युतो यथा वैष्णवानां यथा शम्भो पुराणानामिदं तथा श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणममलं यद्वैष्णवानां प्रियं यस्मिन् परमांशमेकम् अमलज्ञानं परं गीयते तत्र ज्ञानविरागभक्तिसहितं नैष्कर्म्यम् आविष्कृतं तत्शृण्वान् सुपाठनविचारणपरो भक्त्या मुच्ये नरः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपा समं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं नमो विष्णुवाय कृष्णकृष्णभूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिति नाम्ने नमाचार्य पादान्विताय कृपाप्रदाय गौरवदां हरि ओम तस्सत् हरे कृष्ण welcome everybody to today's section and it's a wonderful section and where the Kapila Shishya is there and you are talking about the Devoti and Kapila Dev, how the great personalities they understand the tattva of Srimad Bhagavatam and it's a lot of information is a lot of what you call siddhantas are there to understand this one and feel some people feel like it's too much boring but nothing like that. Everything related to Lord Krishna, whole Lord creation, which what Kapila is explaining, is all related to Lord Krishna. And whatever the Krishna's topic related Krishna is there, that's all Krishna Gatha only. So nothing to think, something else. So here, we just a small recap will do it. And your Devati, and everybody knows, she's a daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, and she got married to Kardama Muni. And Kardama Muni, like great saint, and is totally renounced order. And by the request of the Brahmaji, the Devati got married to Kardama Muni, and Kardama Muni, they got married. But Kardama Muni is not at all attached to any of the family life. And he was totally detached. And he was doing his own tapasya as it is, sadhana as it is in the forest. And Devati, being an ideal wife, being a chaste wife, she nicely serving Kardama Muni very nicely. And like that, so many years passed. Meanwhile, she became very weak, she very thin, she became very pale. She totally lost her body luster. And at the same time, over a period of time, Kadam realized, my wife is serving so nicely. But I did not give any of her requirements. And then he said, what do you want? She said, I want children. Then what Kardam said, he made her beautiful woman by taking bath in the Bindu Sarovar. And also, he also converted into such a young Rishimuni. And then he, not only that, he made a nice aerial mansion. And in that, they stayed for thousands of years. And she had 9 daughters. And then he said, I'll leave now. My work is finished. Now I'll go back to my spiritual duties. So later on, Devati again requested, I want one son. Then Kardamani, by the power, and invoked Lord's blessings, and Supreme Lord himself came as our own son, is Kapila. And Kapila here, then immediately Kapila born, Kardamani did nice prayer for him, and he left his forest. So being a devotee is, nice, lesson you learn. That means you finish your duty, then again you engage your sadhana and why the sadhana bhakti are following. Like in the we are all grastas, we have certain responsibilities, taking care of family, children. When children grown up, they stand in their own legs, then don't depend on them. Be your own, be detached from the, as far as possible, try to detach from the family life, vanapasta, you have to clearly take it. But be in the inside of the family, still don't be attached. This is what main concept actually. The attachment to the material world is the topic of the whole topic today. Then at the same time, then Devati, she knows, her husband such a highly qualified devotee. And at the same time, she repented, what I did make mistake. In spite of having such a highly qualified Vaishnava as a husband, but I did not take full advantage of it. Then she repented actually. So like that in our day-to-day life, it so many times happens, now all Guru Maharajas are alive, then you take it very lightly. And so we have to take it, each and every association of the devotees, senior Vaishnavas, very seriously, and you should take the maximum advantage of the situation. That's what Devati, the dependent, then later on, her own son, and she bowed down to her own son, and that time she left all her Vasalya Baba, and she is totally, there is a relation between the Guru and Shishya. You can see the photo, that how the Kardamani is sitting on the sofa, and Vyasasan, and she is sitting on the floor, and she is listening various questions she is asking. But one thing you should understand, Devati is not an ordinary woman. She is extraordinary, wonderful devotee because she is son of Swayambhu Manu. Just imagine, Manu is ruling whole world, whole Bhumandala. Such a great son. Actually, she is very qualified. And why she is asking all these questions? It's like similar situation. You can see how the Arjuna is asking question to the Lord Krishna, and Arjuna also same very qualified person. It's very very qualified. He learned all the shastra, but Krishna for that moment he bewildered his mind and he made him to ask all these questions. Samely Parishit Maharaj. He also studied. He was a great scholar. He's a great grandfather Yudhishthira Maharaj, and great devotee of Lord Krishna. But still, that particular moment, he's instigating, Krishna is instigating all these questions, but understand all the purpose of these questions, this for our benefit. We are living entities. The Vyasadeva knows in over a period of time, these people they don't know anything, Manda Sumanda Mate, Manda Bhagya Padrata, they're going to be very dull-headed. So for that, our upliftment, we should understand all the Devati asking question to the Kapila Dev, the Narchira asking question to the Krishna, or Parishit Maharaj asking question to the Sukadeva Goswami. It's all for our benefit. So Srimad Bhagavatam basically it's a glorification where the devotees, and sometimes devotees act like so bad, but at the same time you should understand this all for our benefit actually. Lord made them to that situation. Like Bharat Maharaj, he goes to the forest and he totally forget his sadhana because of a small deer and he attached to that deer. But at the same time, you should understand, this all happens for our benefit actually. Lord using all the devotees for our benefit, like Parishit Maharaj, such a great devotee. 7 days, 7 nights, he did not eat, drink water, nothing. Then how come, he is just that particular moment he getting very thirsty and putting that dead snake on the Shamik Manish Rishi's neck. It's all Lord's arrangement actually. That's why you should understand each and every aspect of Srimad Bhagavatam, every lecture, like last chapter I gone through, chapter number, chapter number, it is 23, 24, we can see a lot of technical points, Matattva, Pradhana, Pradhana is there, Matattva is there, a lot of elements are adding, a lot of Kriya Shakti, Lord's Kriya Shakti has been very nicely explained in the whole chapter, and various material elements and explained, Pancha, five Charmendriyas, Jnanendriyas, Tanmatras, Panchabhutas, each and everything nicely explained in Chitta, and everything explained, and how the combination taken place, how the mode of material, three modes of material added to that creation process, how the time factor come into picture. This is all the very deep topic. At the same time, how the mind has come, how the intelligence has come, how the intelligence, what the devatas control each and every aspect of the mind, intelligence, and everything. That means it's very thorough topic actually. This all comes because this is the Lord's greatness actually. Lord's greatness to serve the devotees. हम लोग को उद्धार के लिए भगवान ऐसा सब creation किया actually. Lord has so many things, just to take care of the fallen condition so like us. And it said that by just understanding this Sankhya philosophy, how the material world is created, what are the elements of the material world, all these things studying very nicely, you get it's said that in the slokas, that means if you see the chapter 26, beginning only that Sukadeva Goswami says, what is the purpose of all these things? That is, what is the hearing? What is the benefit of hearing Sankhya Yoga? Basically, it's from the freedom from the modes. हम लोग 3 modes से बंधन हो चुका है. That means here सत्वगुण, रजोगुण, तमोगुण. We are controlled by 3 gunas, and हम लोग उससे बाहर आना चाहिए. You have to put out best effort to come out of this one. By understanding this Sankhya philosophy, it will help us to come out from the 3 modes of material nature, and also it helps us to self-realization. Atma Shashatkar, how it happens, self-realization. That means very well, you're a Jivatma, and you also understand, come to know who is the Paramatma, and you also understand what is the relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. And also you come to know what is the human being's duty, what is the soul duty to serve the super soul. Jivatma होने के बाद परमात्मा की सेवा करना चाहिए. That is the ultimate. When you do this one, that's called self-realization. That means there are 4 steps. Who is Jivatma? Who is Paramatma? What is the relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma? And ultimately, what is the purpose of human life? Ye Atma Suprasidasi. How the Atma become happy? Only when it serves the Paramatma. Only it serves the Supreme Lord, then the Atma is completed. That's what exactly called self-realization process. All this self-realization happens when you study the Sankhya philosophy very nicely. And plus, it also cut the knot of attachment. You have a lot of Hridaya Granthi quality. Chindanti Hridaya Granthi. That Hridaya Granthi is very strong. That Hridaya Granthi, you won't cut it. This is what Devati asking this same question. Same questions, Devati questions are asked based on these questions. Now, this chapter number 27, what you are studying, is based on the questions of Devati, and Kapil Dev also answered very nicely. Chapter number 27, he learned, how the jiva in the conditioned state, what is the cause of conditioning of jiva in the false identification in the prakriti. Jiva is under false identification in the prakriti, and what is the solution? The Kardamani gives a lot of solutions. Every time he identifies the problems and gives the solutions, like, he very detailed describes about the bhakti yoga and other Ashtanga yoga and virakti and how develop all these things. Very nice explained. Then sloka number 7 to 10, he also explained about the various qualities of the jnani. There are 18 qualities have been wonderfully described. I'm sure you must have gone through all these qualities. Then ultimately come to the characteristic of the Lord. He explained in sloka number 11. Then after that, sloka number 14 to 16, he talks about the during the deep sleep or at the time of destruction, the soul is not having any material covering. Now it is now whole topic discussion is going to come. Is the soul covering with the material nature? And this how this there is no material covering when soul goes to the under the womb of Karanadaksha Vishnu. Then later on, further, then Devati asks questions, that 17 to 20. The fourth sloka talks about the questions of Devati to her own son, the Kapila Deva, or her own guru. The questions are very interesting questions actually. For instance, 17, the Devati asks questions like, she asks, my dear Brahmana, does the material nature ever give release to the spirit soul? Since one is attached to the other eternally, how is it that separation possible? That means there is eternal relationship between the material nature and soul. And soul has to be always come back to the material nature. And like, this soul has been created, like, Lord's marginal potency. Lord got three potencies, that internal potency, external potency, marginal potency. This internal potency, like, Lord created all the spiritual world. Then external potency, Lord created this material world. Same time, this marginal potency, Lord created all the jivatmas. Here, the two eternal potencies, that is external potency and internal potency, two external, they're eternal in nature, and somehow they've been they've been combined, and since it's so difficult to separate from each other, how is it possible for individual soul to become liberated? This is a question she asked. हम लोग इतना फंसा हुआ है मटेरियल प्रकृति से और जीवात्मा से, हम लोग फंसा हुआ है, हम लोग कैसे बाहर आ सकते हैं? This is what she says. They are so closely attached. And in the sloka number 18, he says, there's a nice example is given, there is a aroma in the earth. There is a aroma comes from the various matters, like the flower gives a aroma, and water gives us so many matters things, like water gives a taste, water has its own taste. If you remove the taste from water, there's no meaning for the water. And remove the heat from the fire, fire has no meaning. The same way, all our senses, it has got attached to particular object, like in our tongue, attached to the tasting various palatable food, and like nose and eyes, wants to hear so many things like that. The Jivatma is too much attached to the various material things. How is it possible for them to get liberated? Like now, sloka number 19, it's also tells, very nicely it says, how can there be freedom from the soul as long as material nature acts on him, binds him. The material nature means three modes of material natures. It's always binding the soul. It's always making the soul that you're a body. Like that, it brings that level actually. You're a bodily platform. It brings that three modes of material nature. And his 19th question also, Devati asked same question. How can we get freedom from all these clutches of the material natures? Then you can see, that Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Prakriti Kriyamana Gunakarmani Karo Sarvaja. Ahankari Modatna Kartaramiti Manyate. That means people think, I'm the doing. Kartaramiti Manyate. He thinks I'm the doer. That is a question of I and mine comes, then Prabhupada, he doesn't waste the time for explaining so many things in nicely purport. And immediately he gives before Kapila replies, Prabhupada already writes in his purport actually. He writes, that Devi Yeshagunamai Mama Maya Durataya Ma Eva Prapadyante Maya Etam Taranti. He just turned on to Supreme Lord. You can get rid of the Maya, like that Srila Rao writes. Here Devati poses the question that although one may speculate in many ways, there is a liberation as long as one is under spell of material nature. How is there is a material nature? You can come out of the material nature as long as you do the speculation on the things like that. So now we come to the sloka number 20, today's sloka. I'll just read out. And what is the system, Prabhu? Somebody will repeat, or shall I just read it and go ahead? Yes, Prabhuji? Anyhow, I just read it out. Kachitvatta avamarshena nivrittam bayam ulbanam anivritta nimittatvat puna pratyavatistate क्वचित् तत्वा avamarshena nivrittam bayam ulbanam anivritta nivrittatvat puna pratyavatistate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Even if the great fear of bondage is avoided by the mental speculation and inquiry into the fundamental principle, it may still appear again since the cause has not ceased. The meaning is the great fear of bondage. That is a Hridaya Granthi, that is a bondage between the Jivatma and Prakriti. It is a great fear because you have to come out of this fear. But many people, what they do, they see, but Devati says, we can avoid it by mental speculation and inquiry into the fundamental principle. That is how this attachment has taken place. We can do so many mental speculations. You can how to this get rid of this great bondage. But still, he says it may appear again since its cause has not ceased. That is, what is the cause? That is the bondage. That is the material nature. Three modes of material nature perfectly overruling all our day-to-day system. As a result, it's not possible. That cause will remain. Then what is the solution? How to get rid of? What is the solution for the get rid of this bondage? That means you do the mental speculation, you do the inquiry into the fundamental principle, it is not possible. It will not solve the problems. The cause will remain. How to get rid of is, that is, you will come in, then she asked this question, then Kalpadev answer in sloka number 21, 22, 23. Then you can understand in the today's, tomorrow's, and day after tomorrow's class, you can understand. So today we'll discuss more about how to go about this bondage. What is this bondage? Fear of bondage. Let us see. The material bondage is caused by putting oneself under the control of the matter because the false ego of lording it over material nature. That means every human being, every jivatma, when you come to this buloka, it is the main purpose too. One is controlling our material nature, lording out our material nature, and at the same time, they want to become the Lord. They want to become Supreme Lord. This is what the jivatma wants. That's the reason he came to the material world. Here, what is exactly the false ego? Because of the false ego, this happens. We got two egos. One is Mithyankara and Sahajankara. Mithyankara is false ego. What is Mithyankara? It is the mistaken identification of self with the body and material elements, leading the spirit soul to believe I am the doer. मैं सब कुछ करने वाला है. ईश्वरा हम भोगी, ईश्वरा हम बलवान सुखी. Like that is the mentality. That means मैं कुछ करने वाला, मुझे से सब कुछ हो रहा है. Independent of Krishna's control. It arises from the material contamination. That means we have the soul. It comes to material world. It is very pure. But at the same time, because of this material contamination, the convincing the conditions so that it's lauded or material nature through the action driven by the lust, greed, nescience. That means the moment you come to the contamination, this is contamination. What is contamination? Or shadvaris. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Master, is all shadvaris. It attacks us and contaminates material nature. At the same time, while ignoring the body's mechanism, operate under the divine supervision. That means we forget. That means, some divine supervision is controlling us. Upadrashtam Chanmam Bharta Bhokta Maheshwar. That means there is somebody there, he's controlling, he's overseeing everything. So you forget everything. And what is, you totally forget the total divine supervision. Because all this happens because of false ego. Here, the false consciousness manifests as claiming full credit for the achievements, fostering godlessness by forgetting one's role in Krishna's eternal servant. Actually, what is a Sahaja Ankara is you are all eternal servant of the Lord. Jivar Sarupe Nitera Krishna Das. This is our Nijavada, real, our position actually. This is our constitution position. But again, what false ego does, false ego makes us to forget that position. What he does, he says, I am the doer, I am the doer, I am the doing everything. That means what he does, it always prompt fruitive activities for the same gratification and futile attempt to conquer the material laws via science and speculation. That means, moment the false ego is in your mind, what you do, it always encourages, I am the doer. That means you want to become shine in the whole public. You want to get the name and nama pratishtha. You get the name and fame in the society. Then you do so many things. That will help. You want to basically you want to do all the futile activities, so many futile attempts to conquer the material laws by science and speculation, like that. The real true ego is soul's servitude to Supreme Person God. That means we are Jiva Sarupa Nityara Krishna. This is real, our ego. So that ego, you should never forget. Moment you get the come under clutches of the false ego, they always say aham mameti. That means I and mine. Like Vrishabhadeva instructs, here in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, he says, Pumsa Shriya Mituni Bhavam Ek Etam Tayor Mito Hridaya Grantim Ahu Ato Graha Kshetra Suta Apta Vitte Janasya Moho Ayam Aham Mameti. The meaning is that the Pumsa Shriya, that means the man and woman, they come together. That means attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. That Tayor Mito Hridaya Grantim Ahu. That means there is a basic principle between the connection, basic binding, which is binding of material world, is the relation between man and woman. On the basis of misconception, which ties together the arts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to the body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. That means graha. Graha means you attach to our home. Ato means your body. Graha means your home. And kshetra, graha kshetra, that is home and property. Kshetra means property. And suta, that means your children. And apta means your relatives. And vittir means your wealth. That means because of this attraction between male and female, that we bind us so much material world. At the same time, it is the one gives lot of attachment for all these elements. It makes your body, you want to become body to be beautiful, body to be healthy, and you want a house to be beautiful, property should be big. That you can show to all the public, you can invite all relatives, show your wealth and your children and relatives, you got so much attachment. It's mainly attachment related so that they'll respect you, mana, sanmana, they want, all these things. In this way, one increases life illusion and thinks in the terms of I and mine. This is what Rishabhadev says. That means all these factors and is roaming around the one factor that is I and mine. I am the greatest, I'm the biggest, I'm the most successful man. I'm the one, getting because you want to be a role model for others. Like that, you want so all these physical matters, you want to role model for others. But you have to be real devotees. They are role model for the others in terms of devotion. How to be detached from the material attachment, material things. The detachment is a sign of the devotees. He's not interested about all this gra, vitta, sutta, pa, with all these things. He just want to serve the Supreme Lord. At the same time, in this purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, he says, all these problems start because of Ichcha Deha Samutvena. That is Bhagavad Gita 27. Ichcha Dvesha Samutvena Danda Mohena Bharata Sarvabhutani Sammoham Sarge Yanti Parantapa. Our Krishna says, O conqueror of the four, all the entities are born into delusion. Bewildered by the dualities arises from the desire and hate. That means you are all in delusion. हम लोग को भ्रमे में कौन सा भ्रमा इससे हम लोग को आशा और ईर्ष्या. That means you want desire and you want hate, because these two factors are controlling whole things. That means the living entities got two important factors. One is Ichcha and is Dvesha. Because of Ichcha, you want laudatory material nature. Just you saw, the laudatory material nature comes because of Ichcha. because you want to control your family, control your relatives, control your state, taluk, and the country like that. And you want to control each and everything. At the same time, you got a lot of enemies. Somebody controlling certain things. Suddenly, somebody other big competitor will come into picture. They want to control certain factors. You want to control one company, your competitor is controlling two companies. Suddenly you started hating that person because he's controlling two companies, like that. So this hating is come not only one controlling factor, there are also related to day-to-day things. Day-to-day things. It may be related to all other six gunas. That means your rupa, your guna, and your beauty, your knowledge, your strength, your renunciation. All the six qualities are the Bhagavan's qualities are there. There is a controlling of all these power factors come into picture. Then that means basically only Lord is the one complete in all the Bhagwan six qualities. भगवान सिर्फ सिक्स क्वालिटी में कंप्लीट है. हम लोग उसके साथ हम लोग भी वो क्वालिटी चाहिए. हम लोग बहुत प्रयास कर रहे हैं. That means you want just competing with the Lord actually. That means you want to become the God. Nothing is reason is very simple. You also become God. This is a problem. That's why this Ichcha and Desha, that is there each and every living entity. And this suppose person get rid of these two things. That means when a person comes to the stage of feel vairagya, that time you can get rid of all these things. That means as long as you got Ichcha and Dvesha, you have to take birth again and again. As long as you continue, that Jnana Vairagya. This to comes, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Projita, Janayati Astu Vairagyam, Jnanam Chanpad Ahitukyam. That means Jnana and Vairagya comes. This to comes, that means here progressing Krishna consciousness very nicely. And you can, if you see the, our not only Hindu scripture, in the Bible also, the Ichcha Desha story comes, that means, earlier they say, Bible they say, original Purusha, like, it is Adam and Eve. Like, we got original Purusha, like Brahma is there, and all these things are there. But here, they got Adam and Eve, and their story goes in like similar, concept. And they say they're nicely enjoying the spiritual world. They got something called Garden of Eden. That is what they call it a heavenly planet, but they don't have concept of that Golok Vrindavan, Vaikuntha, and they got only one planet. That because they limited understanding, they see Swargalok is everything. So here in that garden of that Eden, they are very happily living. And one day that God instructed them, at any cost you should not eat these apples in the tree. And they nicely obeyed. But sometime at the same time there was a snake comes. The snake started instigating this Adam and Eve. Why God told don't eat the apple, because tomorrow you eat the apple, he also becomes like God. And suddenly they got it's a mind has changed, and see, suddenly they got the propensity to become the Lord. It was material nature, or he also want to become the God came up. And what they did, they overruled the Lord's instruction. They ate Fal Kalia, the apple Kalia. The moment they fal, they ate it, the three things happens in their life. One is they realize they become man and woman. Till that time, their concept was not that man and woman. Everybody is in eternal surrender Supreme Lord, and they come to know they are man and woman. And second thing, they came to know they are naked. Suddenly, the physical attraction aroused in their body. And third thing happened is, moment these things happened, immediately they fell down from the spiritual world to the material world. That means from the garden of Eden, they fell down to Eden Garden. That means Calcutta. They fell down to the boom material world. That means this is the reason we come to material world. All one another time, you're all nicely serving the Supreme Lord. One day you develop the desire to Lord into material nature and enjoy separated from the Supreme Lord. Then you came to material world. So that means you have been controlled by the two powers of the Lord. That is Avanatmika Shakti and Pratyakshatmika Shakti. Srimad Bhagavatam says these two power, illusion, energy of the Lord. What is this Avanatmika Shakti? Avanatmika Shakti means the Lord's potency covers or obscures the spiritual knowledge of the living entity. That means you are all by conscious position, Jivara Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das. What this Avanatmika Shakti does is you remove that concept only. हम लोग को भगवान का शाश्वत सेवक है. वो सेवक का भाव तो है क्या, उसको निकल देते हो आवनात्मक शक्ति. Suddenly you become something great. If that means remove, they're putting in the darkness. The function described in the Bhagavad Gita, where the Maya steals away, that is jnana and knowledge, leading soul to identify the temporary body and mind. This exactly happens. When the Avanatmaka Shakti comes, that means you forget, I am the one eternal servant of the Lord. At the same time, we started identify with the temporary body and mind. This exactly does. And what is this Pratyakshatmika Shakti? This Shakti potency throws or hurls the souls into the ocean of the material existence by tempting it with the desire for sin-grained enjoyment and false ego. That means what this Pratyakshatmika Shakti does, it make you to tempting, there's so many, you start enjoying the world, your senses are there, and then also build up sort of false ego, and it's, and it says steals away, basically it steals away our all the knowledge, and at the same time it reinforces material entanglement through the attraction like awards, identities. That means it gives started the band is anchoring for so many awards. You give the Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Bharata Ratna. You are after so many awards. Like that. Same time, your identities are. You start to identify yourself. I'm a great leader. And like, I'm just here, head of the family, or I'm the big social worker, like that. We started doing all these things. You do a lot of philanthropy activities, because of this Pratyekshātmika Shakti. Because when you do all this work, you get a lot of name and fame. So basically, you forget our original nature actually. So if I give one example, when you go to the film theater ना film theater में चला जाता है, वो पहला काम क्या करते हैं वो लोग आपका अंधेरा कर देते हैं, सुता पूरा अंधेरा. That means you have to identify, आपका identity चला जाएगा. You cannot see a person who is sitting beside you. That means you are looking, you have to focus only on the screen. दैट मीन्स आपका पूरा आपका ओरिजिनल आइडेंटिटी चला गया. दैट मीन्स ओरिजिनल आइडेंटिटी क्या है, जीव स्वरूप नित्य हरे कृष्ण, वो आइडेंटिटी चला गया. अभी क्या होगा, आपको सेल्फ ग्रेटिफिकेशन में इन्वॉल्व करें, इंद्र तृप्ति में आपको इन्वॉल्व होना पड़ेगा. दैट मीन्स यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई द मूवी स्टार्स, you identify yourself as a hero and heroine, and hero wants to please the heroine wants to please the hero, and they're nicely enjoying, and you also start enjoying, because it's just a second-hand enjoyment. You start enjoying, oh, I'm hero, she's heroine, I'm roaming around with her and going all the places, all these things, all these things. And that means at the same time they started killing all the villains, and ultimately become successful in the all the movie shows. They live forever happily. That never happens in the material world. But here, this is what exactly happens. This is Avanatmika Shakti and Pratyakshatmika Shakti. Basically, they bind you into the very deep material nature. That material nature, these are all the elements. Material nature got three modes, that Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and also it has got all the Shaktis are there, all this basically involve yourself in the material nature. That's what Devati says, that's what Prabhupada writes in the purport. Devati very intelligently says, one may theoretically analyze and say that by the knowledge he has become the freed, but actually as long as cause exists, he is not free from the, he is not free from the, he is not free. That means Bhagavad Gita confirms that after performing such speculative activities for many, many births, when one actually becomes, one actually comes to the real consciousness and surrender unto the Supreme Lord, Krishna, then the fulfillment of his research in knowledge is actually achieved. Then Bhagavad Gita says, Krishna says, Bhavanam Janmanam. That means many, many births you take it. Jnanamam Parpatese, Vasudeva Saramiti, Saatma Sudurlabha. That means it takes many, many births to become Krishna conscious. It's not so easy. Like that, and that also one more sloka says, Manishanam Sahasresha, Kaschin Siddhe, Vitatana Siddhana, Kaschin Mameti Kaschana. That means he says one becomes, Krishna conscious with a lot of effort. Out of thousands of devotees, one accepts that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. For example, there's 1,000 people are there. 1,000 out of 1,000 people, only 10%, that means 100 devotees, they accept Krishna as the Supreme. Actually, this is a explanation given by Gaudiya philosophy. The Gaudiya philosophy says, out of 1,000 people, the 100 people accept Krishna as the Supreme. Out of 100 people, again 10%, that means 110. The 10 devotees, they accept the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a Supreme Person Godhead. That is the biggest problem in ISKCON. You can see that there's more people, they're eager to go to Vrindavan rather than Mayapur. Why this philosophy? Why this mentality comes? Because they're not fully accepting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Supreme Person Godhead. Moment you accept it, then immediately you go to Mayapur also. I saw so many devotees, 10 times they go to Vrindavan, but they never go to Mayapur at all. That is a problem, because this happens because of this reason. Out of only 10 accept Krishna as Supreme Person Godhead. Again, out of 10, again 1%, that is 1%, he accepts the Chaitanya Prabhu is a combination of Lord Krishna and Radha. That means Chaitanya came in the Radha Bhava Sarup. That understanding once you get it, then he totally surrender to Supreme Lord. That means that person is very rare. That's what it says. Okay. Manishanam sahasrecha kashchin yatati siddhe satanam siddhanam kashchin mameti tattvata. That tattvata means by reality you should understand. That means what tattvata comes in two, three, many places in Bhagavad Gita. Anybody can recall other slokas where the word tattvata comes? Sloka number fourth chapter, one tattvata comes. Sloka. Janma karma cha me divyam yum yoveti tattvata. In that tattvata comes. Then also from 18th chapter also it comes. Bhaktemam abhijanati yavan yachasmi tattvata. Like this. So it's that means understanding Lord in full. That's exactly this tattvata. Then now come to this one more sloka Srila Prabhupada mentioned in his purport. There's a gulf of difference between theoretical freedom and actual freedom from the material bondage. That means when you understand, read the Bhagavatam, you get what is it? You get understanding. That is called theoretical. That is just jnana. But when you apply this principle, engage in the devotion service, engage chanting holy name of the Lord, follow Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, accept as a guru. When you work under the guru, you do the Vaidhi sadhana perfectly. That means you get an actual freedom from the material bondage. That means the material bondage, it comes only when you engage in the devotion service. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti is very, very important to each and every person. You accept somebody as guru, some bona fide guru, spiritual master, accept it, then work under him, do all the devotion service. Then only you can get rid of the material body. Otherwise, very difficult. That's what Bhagavatam says, the 10:14:4, he says, Shreyaha Shritim Bhaktim Udasaye Te Vibhu Krishanti Ye Keyala Bodhalabhyate Tesham Asu Klesha Eva Shishyate Nanya Dyatra Stula Tusha Avagatam Tinam. He says, my dear Lord, the devotion service unto is the best path of self-realization. That means, whatever the problems have come up, solution is devotion service. If someone gives up that path and engage in the cultivation of speculative knowledge, he will simply undergo troublesome process and will not achieve his desired result. That means anything want to do in your life, you want to understand the Supreme Lord, you want to understand who is the Parama Satya, you should not do any mental speculation. Speculation knowledge is not at all allowed. At the same time, it's a troublesome process. As a person who beats a empty ass of wheat cannot get grain. That means if you ask of the paddy, or if you take the wheat husk is there. That means the dhan already ja chuka hai. The only empty husk is there. So that husk you take it, you not get any grain at all. Then like that, you do the speculative knowledge. It's all just no use at all. You cannot understand Supreme Lord at all. The Paramasatya you cannot understand at all. Only by same time, simply speculative knowledge cannot achieve self-realization. And it gives you undergo a lot of troubles. That is a total confused person. Like that, I recently, last year I met one person. He's our bank manager. So he's from UP and he's very from Vaishnava community, and Vaishnava is a Brahmin community. And he had a lot of knowledge, because he saw it in us, you can make out, we are wearing tilak and all this in Kantimali, so he's a religious. He started about the religious things. And बात करते ना बाद में पता है वो then he is telling, वो बहुत सीखा है वो, he studied Veda, पढ़ा चुका है, then he read Upanishad, lot of things he read it, and he got a lot of demigods, he read a lot of books, he got a lot of knowledge. But thing is, then I said, then you should read Bhagavatam. He did not tell Bhagavatam. I said, आप Bhagavatam भी पढ़ना चाहिए. Bhagavatam पढ़ेगा तो पता चलेगा Supreme Lord कौन से आपका, you can engage in nice devotion service. Then he said, then also do it. Why can't you do the chanting? You should do the chanting. I asked him, did you do the chanting by reading all these Vedas? He said, no, I'm not doing chanting. Chanting बहुत बोर है. इसमें प्रॉब्लम है chanting करने का. क्यों प्रॉब्लम है? वो उससे अच्छे मैं फ्लूट बजाता हूँ. मैं बांसुरी बजाता हूँ. I said, what is this? He was totally confused. Then I told him, at least he reads Srimad Bhagavatam, especially read Srimad Srila Prabhupada, and you chant holy names a lot, then he find the difference in your life. That's what I told him. But he's not ready to accept all the fund. But he want to only accumulate so much knowledge. But at the same time, it's ultimately no use. That means by doing this mental, that means he's confused person. Kitna confusion is उसमें, then it's because a lot of speculative knowledge. and you know who is Supreme Lord and what is the purpose of devotion service, what is the purpose of life, he's still confused. Because it happens because reading so many scriptures but not doing any devotion service. So that's why it is very important to do devotional service so that you can, all the material bondage will go away. As long as you this you don't do devotional service, it's very difficult to get rid of all the material bondage. This is what the sloka says. Krishyantiye ye kevala bodha labhyate. That means if one gives up the auspicious path of devotional service, simply tries to know the things by speculation, one waste his valuable time. That means he'll waste valuable time. But one thing you should understand, the Lord is there, He's a supreme Lord, and He is not, even though He's created material world, but He's not attached to any of these material things. That means that only Jivatma is a condition under material nature. The Lord is not. You can say in the Bhagavad Gita, that means Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina mastani sarva bhutani nacham tesha avastitaha. The Bhagavad Krishna says, by me, my unmanifested form, that means avyakta murtina, this entire universe is pervaded. That means jagad avyakta murtina, that is the whole world is pervaded with unmanifested form. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. That means Mastani Sarva Bhutani, all beings are in me, Nacham Tesha Avastita, that I am not in them. What is the exact meaning? That means Lord got various energies and various facilities. Under that, he need not go personally. Lord is there in the Goloka, even he was at Akilatma Bhoto. Lord is in Goloka, very nicely staying. At the same time, you got various energies, and in the in-person form, you can pervade everywhere. And example is giving like the government, government running various department. Each and every department is under the control of the government, and they put the prime minister's photo in there. That the only photo is there, but it never comes to any of the department, Prime Minister of India. And like in jail is there. Jail also controlled by the Prime Minister of India. Same time, each and every department they're working under the government supervision. Supervision of the superior person. But Lord is God like that. The Lord is there providing his various energies. He is controlling everywhere very nicely. Like the sunshine is. Sunshine is spread all over the universe. The energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything resting in that energy. That means the Lord sun, all Surya Bhagavan is. Surya Bhagavan ka kiran sab jagah mein. That means it has got all the potencies. Same time, it never be diluted. That means Lord potence gives sun gives the propitious sun. At the same time, by giving the sunshine, Lord's power is not reduced. Sun will remain as it is, and is not contaminated at all. That's what. And it's in the yet one should conclude that because it spread all over, it has not a person existence. That means sun will never lose its energy. Sun remains energy remain as it is. Like that's why so many Mayavadi says, like they give the example, you take one big paper and make so many pieces, small piece, and ultimately paper loses existence. But it's not like that. The Lord is sun will remain as it is, all his energy will remain as it is. But even though he gives so many energy to the world, but he'll remain as it is. That's what exactly we understand all these things. But here, one thing we should understand, the creation takes place by the diffusion of different energies, and as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vistabhyam idam Krishnam. That means he is everywhere present. At the same time, by his person representation, the diffusion of his different energies. That means Lord is there in different all everywhere, pervading everywhere. Same these energies are controlling everything. Lord need not be there everywhere. So this is very nice book actually. So after telling all these things, now that our Kapila Deva come into picture, and he talks straight away devotion service. What is the power of devotion service? And he gives very nice analogy that you can see in next chapter. That means basically by associating material nature alone, one does not become conditioned. The Caesar Swami says that means he can associate material nature, the Jivatma, it never get a condition. How the condition comes? The condition of the life begins only after one is infected with the modes of material nature. That means modes of material is very nicely controlling. Like the puppets are controlled by the various strings. You see the picture of the modes of material, how they are controlling the living entities, like that. Then, so having said all these things, now come to the conclusion. The conclusion is, although process of devotion service, so Lord Krishna is very simple. Actually, devotion service, bhakti करते हैं बहुत simple है, सरल है, but it is extremely difficult to step on conditioned soul to completely humble themselves before the Supreme Person Godhead. That means the conditioned soul, they're so stubborn. They don't want to surrender to Supreme Lord. and they always absorb in 24 hours a day, nicely enjoying the sense gratification. They cannot render any devotion service. That's why it is very important to take the shelter of the guru and sadhu. Then only you can come back to the get rid of this attachment from the material world. It is very difficult to come out from the material entanglement, but it is possible only rendering devotion service. That the Kapila Deva explained the sloka number in the slokas 21, 22, 23. That's why it said that the devotion service has to be performed strongly in perfect knowledge. हम लोग को ज्ञान भी चाहिए, उसके साथ हम लोग वो भगवान का सेवा भी करना चाहिए. And end with the transcendental vision. One must strongly renounce and must engage in the austerity and perform mystic yoga in order to be firmly fixed in the self-absorption. So this is the conclusion given by Kapila Deva. So thank you very much, Prabhuji and Mataji. Kindly forgive me for all the defects whatever in the class. And basically, one should come out from the this material attachment. This attachment comes in now. It's possible only by rendering devotion service to the Supreme Person of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama. Thank you very much, Gopi Prabhu and full team, for giving this opportunity. And it's very nice to recall this Kapila Shishya. In fact, I totally forgotten. And they give me the topic, and again I gone through all the chapters and studied, then I get, assimilate some points. And what is all Guru Maharaj Masti. Thanks a lot once again, all the devotees. Vancha Kalparubhascha, Kripa Sindhibhavacha, Patitanam Pavane Vaishnavi Vaishnavi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Such a wonderful class. इतना अच्छा लग रहा था, सुनते रहे. And बहुत सारे technical points, so many technical points you presented so nicely, Prabhu. So it was very wonderful to hear from you. Please keep coming again and again.
Thank you.
So it was really very nice, Prabhu. So I just request devotees, भक्तों को मैं request करता हूँ, किसी का कोई प्रश्न है, कोई कमेंट्स है तो ले सकते हैं हम लोग. हरे कृष्णा. I think no one, Prabhuji, but because the topic is too technical to understand.
It's too
And,
technical. I don't know whether I was able to convince it properly. But thing is that it's a
No,
topic itself with a restricted topic, because I don't want to tell the sloka number 20 and 23 in detail, because let them tell in detail. So I restricted myself to the Devati questions only. Question के ऊपर ही मेरा पूरा क्लास चल रहा था. Hare Krishna.
very nicely you summarized also. You took from how Kapil Muni was, वो कैसे तपस्या कर रहे थे, and how they got married, all that thing. So very nicely summarized. So if anybody has missed anything, even he will be able to understand today's context.
Yeah,
So thank you for that.
that. My mind is so short, memory so short. Manda. So that's why it is always better recall and go into the topic. Actually, I did it for my purification. Actually, basically, I want to listen something about glorify them. Then let me go to the topic. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so we'll stop here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnavabhyo ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Iskon Govinda ki jai. Sabhi Upasthit Bhakta ki jai. His Grace Murli Vadan Gopal Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj ki
Thank
jai,
you, Prabhu.
Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you.